Well, the first doses of a coronavirus vaccine in the U.S. are set to be administered as early as Monday. Colette Luke has more on what U.S. officials had to say.
Make no mistake, distribution has begun.
The first U.S. shots of Pfizer's newly authorized COVID-19 vaccine will be administered as early as Monday morning, with shipments scheduled to go out Sunday, according to the U.S. General organizing the rollout.
We expect 145 sites across all the states to receive vaccine on Monday.
U.S. Army General Gustav Perna on Saturday during a press call said that the remainder of locations to receive the first batch of doses of the vaccine from Pfizer and partner BioNTech will receive them on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Within the next 24 hours, they will begin moving vaccine from the Pfizer manufacturing facility to the UPS and FedEx hubs. And then it will go out to the 636 locations nationwide. I am absolutely 100% confident that we are going to distribute safely this precious commodity, this vaccine needed to defeat the enemy, COVID.
The United States on Friday evening granted an emergency use authorization for the vaccine for people aged 16 and older. U.S. Food and Drug Administration Commissioner Stephen Hahn at a press conference on Saturday sought to reassure Americans that the vaccine's record pace of development was warranted and regulators had not sacrificed safety.
Science and data guided the FDA's decision. We worked quickly based on the urgency of this pandemic, not because of any other external pressure.
We actually considered the potential allergic reactions pretty carefully here.
Dr. Peter Marks, the director of the FDA division that authorized the vaccine, said at the same press conference that most Americans with allergies should be safe to receive the vaccine. Concerns have arisen in recent days after some of the first Britons to take the vaccine became ill. Britain, Canada, and 3 other countries have already authorized the vaccine. This is the first COVID-19 vaccine authorized in the United States.
Well, as the COVID-19 vaccine receives emergency use authorization, speculation grows surrounding state and local government response. One America's Shane Althouse has more.
Hopes are on the rise as the FDA grants emergency use authorization to the COVID-19 vaccine from Pfizer and Moderna, making it the fastest vaccine ever created. However, all of the data gathered since lockdowns began in March paint a very grim picture of how the United States fared due to state and local responses. First, many businesses experienced direct effects from lockdown measures. For example, their gains, as people were confined to stay at home, shop online, watch TV, and converse with their loved ones through their computer. Though for many other companies, this was a very different story. The retail industry saw roughly 8,400 locations close nationwide, putting nearly 76,000 people out of work, with companies like Lord & Taylor, who have existed for nearly 200 years, now filing for bankruptcy. The restaurant industry faces an even worse situation, as 110,000 eatery establishments close nationwide, putting nearly 6 million Americans out of work because they are being told to limit their capacity to 50%.
Most restaurants are not breaking even at 50%. And you can imagine at 25%, a lot of restaurants are obviously, struggling to keep doors open, even if it's at a loss.
Many argue this was the cost of saving lives. However, keeping people locked indoors and unable to work has actually been quite lethal as well. To start, many counties nationwide have reported a doubling of domestic homicides. On top of that, drug and alcohol overdoses have risen 13% nationwide, much of which has to do with the fact that many addicts are not allowed to meet in person with their support groups or attend AA meetings. These measures have also come at a cost for vulnerable populations as well. For example, people suffering from Alzheimer's saw a near 18% increase in deaths between May and June alone, according to the CDC. Many Alzheimer's patients already living in a state of confusion are suffering and struggling to understand why they aren't allowed to interact with the few people they may still recognize. Now, possibly the most disastrous effect of the country's pandemic response is the surge in suicides nationwide. Just listen to Clark County School District Superintendent Jesus Jara talk about how many students his district has lost to suicide so far this school year alone.
We've lost more this year than all of last year in this first semester.